Hi everyone. I don't normally narrate these videos because I'm honestly I'm just not a fan of narration over videos. But I know you're going to have legitimate questions on this one, and I think you deserve some legitimate answers. So I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. And I know the very first thing that's going through your mind as you see this nastiness is, why are you not wearing gloves and or a mask and or an entire biohazard suit, which legitimately this could have required that. The honest answer to that question is, I have dumb guy syndrome. I had left my masks and gloves at home, and the place that I'm cleaning is a 40-mile round trip. It's 20 miles there, 20 miles back. So instead of driving back to my house to pick them all up, I did the dumb guy thing and decided, screw it, I'm just going to go ahead and try to clean it as best I can. So what I did was, and I don't suggest anyone do this, especially in a situation like this house, which is a hoarder house, or the aftermath thereof, is I basically just held my breath while I was agitating all this stuff. And then I had a bucket off camera where in between takes, I would submerge my arms in it, and the bucket had a mixture of 91% isopropyl alcohol, water, and antibacterial soap. So I would submerge my arms to the elbows and then wash up to my shoulders, and then I would take a break long enough for that to air dry so that I knew that it at least made contact for long enough that it could kill off the bacteria and toxins. Then I would start recording, do another take, and then repeat the process. So I know another question you're going to have is, what is all that nastiness on everything? And the story behind this is, I was contacted by a gentleman whose father owned the house. The father passed away, and then the father's girlfriend continued to live in the house. She had major hoarding problems, very severe hoarding problems, where there were only small paths in order to walk from room to room. So what you're seeing on the counter is years and years of garbage, mice, rats, feces, insects that had built up under the weight of like a literal ton of garbage. Once they cleared that all away, that had set for so long and compressed for so long that it had all broken down into literal soil. On top of that, the soil had been exposed to the air after the cleanup long enough to where that had petrified. And so the rotting process through, all this goop and nastiness that's everywhere had finished. And so what's left is petrified garbage and all kinds of nastiness. So I know a third question is going to be, when we get into the video a little bit more, there are some things I don't clean. I don't clean out, I vacuum out the cabinets and things like that because there are just massive amounts of nastiness in there. I took out at least half a dozen mice nests. I took out 2 full-blown rat nests. I probably vacuumed out 20 pounds of rat and mice feces. But I didn't get in there and sterilize anything. The owners are going to have to go through and do that because they're going to likely have to replace all those cabinets, or at least the interiors of them. There's going to be a lot of stuff that has to be rebuilt in this house in order to salvage it. Another thing is going to be, when I clean the stove, I lift it up so that I can get under the lip of the stove, and I vacuum out the interior as best I can to get all the nastiness out of that. But I didn't clean the interior of the stove, and the reason that I didn't do that is because that stove is going to have to be disassembled, and if they want to save it, it's going to have to be soaked in degreaser, each individual part that they disassemble, and they're going to have to put it back together part by part again. There's no way that I could clean what was underneath that stove and make that sanitary at all, or even functional, really. So anyway, what you're going to see here is me getting rid of as much of that nastiness as I can, cleaning up the sink, the cabinet faces, the stove, the windows and window frames, the borders of the cabinets, and getting all that done as best I can so that the owners can then go in after me and do the more serious sterilization and stuff. But right now, all they wanted was for me to just make this touchable at this point. So that's what I did. And then I just wanted to thank everybody for subscribing and for liking the videos. I thought that was really awesome. I'm just a dude with high functioning autism who wants to help people. So I do these cleanings once per week, where every Saturday I find someone who needs the help but can't afford to hire a housekeeper. And then I just clean their stuff for free. And the trade-off is that I get to make these cool little videos. And then the more people subscribe and the more the channel grows, the more of these houses I'll be able to do. Also, a total side note, I look at my analytics for each of these videos just for sheer curiosity's sake. I've never seen a channel before that was solely watched by women. 90% of my audience, 90% of my audience are women. I just think that's cool. Anyway, enjoy your day, enjoy the video. I'm sorry it's so gross, and we'll see you on the next one.